Doer. Brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
And this is Saturday, May the 17th, and you have entered overtime, where tonight we are one big simmering cauldron of spring playoff fun and goodness and some breaking high school basketball news. But according to at least one newspaper report tonight, Jacksonville is a step closer to hiring its next boys basketball coach. And if everything shakes out as it was reported, it will be a very familiar name to fans of Quincy High basketball. The Springfield State Journal Register's Ryan Mahan is reporting that Sean Taylor will be recommended to the Jacksonville School Board on Wednesday. That hire, obviously, would still be subject to approval of the board itself that night as the Crimsons seek to replace J.R. Dugan, who stepped down earlier this spring. If all of that indeed does come to pass, the Crimsons will have themselves a Hall of Fame coach with a state championship ring to his credit, and Sean Taylor will find a promising new home with some very good young talent coming through the system and after a rather ill-fitting ouster in the Gem City. Of course, we'll keep you apprised and have a complete update for you if that does indeed come to pass coming up on Wednesday. Well, 1 week from today, Missouri's best small school throwers, jumpers, and runners will descend on Dwight T. Reed Stadium in the city of Jefferson, with the express goal of determining the very best of the best. Sectionals serve as the final filtering out process today, and many of our finest in Class 1 and Class 2 found themselves in some very fast company today at Principia, where there wasn't really a single easy state invite to be had or to be found in this one. We will pick it up, though, with Knox County getting out of the blocks quickly right here in the 4x2. Donovan Edwards with the opening leg, but his team would quickly fall to fifth in this one. North Shelby takes fourth. Clopton takes second in the 4x2. As I said, though, the time's very, very fast. Both Class 1 and Class 2 in this particular event. Starting you off right here in the triple jump, that, my friends, is Patrice Blackwell, who would finish third on the day and advance her way to state. Top four head off to Dwight T. Reed Stadium. She was fairly satisfied. Her teammate in Class 2 on the boys' side, Tristan Castilla, with a very good first jump, an even better third jump today of 43 feet 5 inches, good for third place. As I told you, this thing was absolutely loaded. More from the triple jump, this time Class 1 girl Shelby Dunn trying to book her passage to state as well, and she would do exactly that, sneaking in fourth in the qualifying here on the day. More for you to come right now. We mentioned Patrice Blackwell earlier. The pride of this day, her sister Denise Blackwell, going to work in the 300 meter. She is going to win a championship, a rare sectional championship on this day, as she runs away from the field taking first place. She's got a legitimate shot next week to win a state championship. Great showing from Denise right here. Move you on up now. We're going to check in right now in other action in Class 1 this time, looking at the 800 meter on the boys' side, and you are looking at Jared Trenhill, currently running in third place in that event. Remember, top four in the event end up qualifying for state. Trenhill going to keep his pace and run a time of 2:05 to book his ticket to state as well. As I mentioned, we didn't have a lot of sectional champions, but we did have a few. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. How about more for you right here in the 400 meter? It is Canton's Katie March, two-time qualifier for state today. She finished fourth here. She also finished in the top four in the high jump today. So congratulations to Katie on her venture to Jefferson City as well. I mentioned we had champions. You're looking at one of them, Clopton's Jack Hicks. Great run right here in the 400 today. 51 seconds, 0.15 to pull away sort of in the last few meters of this one to get the victory. One more to tell you about in this one. You're looking at Madison McCabe, the outstanding freshman from Knox County. Third place finish today in the mile as she books her passage to well. Let's take a look at those final team scores in the event today. On the girls' side, it was loaded, as I mentioned, and Louisiana was the top local finisher with a 9th place finish. Mark Twain, not too shabby as well, getting into the top 10 there as well. Also on the docket today, boys' side, Maplewood, Cleveland, National Junior ROTC, both very good programs. Louisiana, Mark Twain had to settle for much lower than they would have in perhaps another sectional where it was less loaded. On the boys' side, much better local showings today as we get a couple into the top four. As I mentioned, Clopton, North Shelby showing out really nicely on the boys' side. Girls' side in Class 1, again, still at Principia. Pretty good showing today from the Clopton girls as well as the Knox County girls to boot right there. Let's talk about the goings-on down in Lynn today. Not an easy trek. Wasn't easy for us to find results, but we will pass along to you what we can. The big story on the day on the boys' side today was the Palmyra boys, who showed out nicely, leading the way today. Matt Frankenbach with another big win in the shot put. Also with an individual sectional championship, Skylar Klein in the high jump. Zach Lewis, who we showed you right here last week, a nice showing as well in the 200 meter. Also want to talk about the good stuff here for Monroe City as well today. Didn't hear what their team standing was, but we know they qualified a bunch for state, including Chase Pennewell, no surprise there, winning the pole vault. Sawyer Powers, who really ran well at districts last week in the mile, is headed to state, as is Tyler Pugh, among the others on the boys' side from Monroe City, with a great showing in the shot put there as well. Some other things I need to mention on the girls' side. Congratulations to Kelsey Martin. Outstanding showing on the girls' side today. Much better showing for her out of the blocks in the 100 today, as she ends up winning the 100 and the 200 meter on the girls' side today. Good stuff as well for her in the 4x4. With her, Lindsay Van Trass, Haley Nix, and Savannah Nix getting the job done there as well. So congratulations to those girls. On the girls' side as well, be remiss if I didn't mention the outstanding Renee Bushling out of Clark County, young lady who's just an absolute monster in the long distance runs, and she showed it yet again today. Great stuff from her, finishing first in both the mile and the 2 mile. Also want to give a shout out to Scotland County's Lucas Howard, on to state first in the 110 and 300 meter hurdles and second in the triple jump. Let's take you to district action for the Hannibal boys today down at Parkway Central. Fast company in the 4x2, but check out Wyatt King giving it his all down the stretch. He doesn't gain any ground on Francis Howell Central, but he doesn't lose any. 132, second place for Hannibal in that event. They're headed off to the sectional in that one. Dylan Powell, nice showing today in both the disc, 139.10, and in the shot, over 50 today. The best showing of the day for Hannibal in the triple jump, Brandon Hackamack ends up finishing second to book his passage as well. 42 feet, 8 1/4 inches for second place there. Everything else really tough sledding today for the Hannibal Pirates. On the girls' side, Brooklyn Watson leading her team to a 6th place team finish. She runs the mile today in 5:22.62 for 5th place there. Nathan Voss couldn't clear 6.4 today. He came in with the highest qualifying jump in the high jump of 6.5, ends up taking a 3rd place finish on the day, as the Hannibal boys end up 6th as well. So tough sledding there. Going to be real tough sledding in the sectional next week, but Hannibal does get a few through, so congratulations to them as well. While we're on the subject of the Pirates, their baseball season comes to an end today at the hands of a Francis Howell team I'm told, at least on a couple of different fronts, was nationally ranked, depending upon whose poll you look at, I think as high as 23rd in the nation. Eric Hugenberg had a nice triple with an RBI earlier in the day, but that was probably the extent and the end of the offense today, as Hannibal runs into a buzzsaw and the Pirates see their season come crashing to a halt. We have more for you, though, on the baseball side of things. Thriller today at Monroe City in district fun. Mark Twain, Monroe City going at it. Mark Twain up early. Rode Douglas Camden for most of the day, pitched well. On the other end, Kyle Fulton pitching for Monroe City, down 1-0 early, pitched himself out of a lot of jams early in this. Great defense by Kyle Fulton right there. For 5 full innings, though, it was Camden who was the story. Dougie Fresh, if you will, made that run stand up early on. A dominant 3rd frame right here as he would strike out the side. Monroe City hit only 2 hard baseballs against him for the first 5 innings of this ball game. Looked like he was going to get the thing done. The Panthers seem to be running out of time and options in this game. Bottom of the 6th, though, tying run at 3rd, Josh Underhill. Essentially a swinging bunt right here to score Scott Hoover. We're tied up at 1 apiece. Then it's Colton Ross. He's going to go to work and do some things right here. Nice piece of hitting going, wow, the other way with it, just into short right field to score another run on the single bloop, made it 2-1. Taryn Ritter going to hit the ball into play. It's going to be badly misplayed, and that's going to score another run, extending Monroe City's lead again in the bottom of the 6th out to 3-1. Monroe City erupts for 4 runs in that frame, which leaves it to Kyle Fulton and his defense to kind of close this thing out. Fulton and Gage Shively going to do the strike him out, throw him out thing at the end of this. Pretty stuff to get it done. Not sure why the base runner elected to take off after the strikeout, but he did, and Shively gunned him just with an absolute cannon shot right there. Monroe City advances on to take on Palmyra coming up on Monday. Nice win for the Panthers in come-from-behind fashion. Meanwhile, later in the day, Clark County trying to sneak on past. Already had 3 wins this season, which is pretty good for your first year back. Jerry Jerome looking for a big upset against the 13-3 Bowling Green squad. Corey Brown wasn't having any of it. You know him as an outstanding defensive back, not a bad pitcher either, as he was in full-on shutdown mode in this one today. Got some offense in the bottom of the first as well. Alexander Roy going to the deepest, darkest recesses of the ballpark right there, an RBI double. That gets it done. Cyrus Phillips, who has been a really good pitcher on a team that didn't get a whole lot of pub because it was a first-year startup and they weren't overly successful. Phillips gets out of the jam right there, but he didn't have quite enough answers for Bowling Green's potent offense today as Bowling Green advances 10-0 your final. Up next for Bowling Green on Monday, real interesting showdown with Macon, who's red hot of late, taking advantage of a Highland team that has been all over the place this season. Today it was not good Highland. As Macon gets the win there 11-1. So Macon with a quality win over a quality opponent who's struggled just a bit of late. Also want to tell you today, South Shelby season comes to an end as well. Keokuk tennis taking on Burlington Notre Dame in the regionals. Lexi Kemp and Lakin Bolts in doubles play. Kemp with a beautiful return right here. And then, just fun stuff for her as Keokuk is going to jump out and take the lead in this. They needed the doubles eventually in this one. Lakin Bolt's going to do her thing with the hard smash right there. We're not done with the Lady Chiefs, though. After winning in the early morning session, they were wide awake and kind of destroying things. You're looking at Autumn Schulte and Brittany Logan going to work. It's Schulte with a beautiful return right there. And then Miss Logan doing her thing as well as Keokuk ends up beating Burlington Notre Dame, West Burlington today 5-2. They will advance on into further play in the postseason coming up next Saturday as well. So congratulations to the Chiefs on that big win. Also today, I want to talk about the Hannibal Pirates. Yesterday, team districts. Today, individual champions. They had a bunch of them today. Did the Hannibal Pirates. So congratulations to them. Great show out. Matt Maple as well joins that group with a number of really good showings there. So congratulations to the Pirates on their big day on the tennis courts. Also need to shout out the Quincy Blue Devils today on the boys' side. Western Big Six meet. Number 2 in a really loaded conference today. Andrew Fauble took second in singles today. The doubles team of O'Connor and Adams also finishing second place as well. So very strong showing there, gentlemen, as well. And we are just getting warmed up. Coming up next, highlights of John Wood as it tries to recover its baseball season, plus some regular season action, including a perfect game coming your way up next. And welcome back to Overtime, everybody. You know, in the haze of all those track and field results, we didn't get everybody in, but instead of having Misha do it for me, I've got Kelsey Martin from Palmyra helping me out. By the way, girls 4x200 meter won first place today at the sectional as well, so congratulations to them. Also want to shout out Taryn Ritter and Kyle Fulton from Monroe City, who were state qualifiers as well. I'm sure I'll find more as I go along, but realized the Lynn sectional, for whatever reason, did a really poor job of getting out results. So we do apologize for that. We'll try to get everybody on that we can, and we want to make sure we make a big deal out of all of our state qualifiers. All right, after many a rain delay, the Region 24 baseball tournament finally cranked up today, with John Wood trying to salvage what has been a star-crossed season. 2 games today. They started off today, did the Blazers against Lewis and Clark. John Wood in the outstanding camo uniforms. Sal Martrano, I can never say his name right, dealing right there. Sal was absolutely dealing strikes today. Unfortunately, against Lewis and Clark, this thing kind of worked out the wrong direction. It went to extra innings, and a walk-off 2-run homer would be John Wood's undoing in the double elimination tournament, as it would be John Wood losing today by the final of 8-6 in that game. Meanwhile, in the second game, Parkland just absolutely doing work today, unfortunately, at the behest of the John Wood Trailblazers, who couldn't get anything going in that second game. And it really just kind of fell apart for John Wood. So they end up losing 8-2 and seeing their season come crashing to a halt today. Unfortunately for the Blazers, as you see them right here against Parkland, didn't go at all together well. Although, Aldair Adamus at least early, Aldo throwing the strikeout right there, but Parkland got the bats cranked up, won that second game 8-2. So good season, a little bit of controversy in it, but John Wood is to be commended for trying to hold it all together. Meanwhile, on the college docket today, Western Illinois' regular season comes to an end. Omaha certainly had the Leathernecks number this past weekend as they make it 3 straight wins, 8-5 your final today. The good news for the Leathernecks coming up in the Summit League tournament, Western Illinois will be the 2 seed and will have a chance likely to avenge themselves against Omaha down the stretch. Let's do a little high school softball today. You are looking at Ashley Wensing, and basically that's all anybody could do to Ashley Wensing today. In her game against New Berlin, she had everybody looking. 11 strikeouts and a perfect, I repeat, perfect game for her today. Didn't hurt that she had some perfect run support as well. Kristen Gengenbacher somehow sneaking this one around the pesky pole. We'll call it a pesky pole, whatever you want to call it, out of the backyard right there. Knocking in a 3-run homer at that point. That really was, as I mentioned, all Ashley Wensing would need on the day as Quincy Notre Dame wins today, going away from New Berlin 6-0 was your final. Illini West also at the backyard today, taking on New Berlin, and this was a much less pitching-oriented affair. Elise Trout, have a day. 3 for 4 at the plate today with a triple, a double right here. You see the triple as she stakes her team to the early lead. Shelby White was even better. 4 for 4 at the plate today, including that RBI double to kind of get things cranked back up. How about some Billy Kirby? She was good today. Fake bunt, slapper, smasher, and right through right there to score another run as Illini West builds the early lead. They're not done yet. I mentioned Shelby White. More from her right there. The slow burn roller for a single in her 4 for 4 today. 4 for 4 day today. She was good. More Billy Kirby as well as Illini West just kind of bangs away in this last week of the regular season and gets a win over New Berlin. 10-6 was your final. We have some softball scores to pass along in this last week of the regular season. First of all, Payson Seymour, a winner over Pittsfield. 10-1 your final there. We've also got at the Central tournament today. Central needed a big win. They end up winning the tournament title of their own tournament today, knocking off a very good Porta team 4-3. Some other scores on the day from that event. Central beat Unity earlier in the day 3-1. It was also Unity, I should say, beating Liberty 9-0. Central a winner over Liberty 6-2. Porta beats Unity 6-1, and Porta beat Liberty as well 11-3 to advance on to that championship game. Some regular season high school baseball, always fun when West Prairie and Beardstown get together. Pitching battle early on as Jamie Cousins gets the strike there. He'd give up a 3-run homer early, but would recover nicely. Mr. Schultz doing some things right here, getting Zach Geltmacher looking. That ends the inning in the frame. Schultz dealing in this ballgame. More defense to come right here. Ethan Peterson to Grant Bland to get the runner out at second base. That's how you do it. Mr. Peterson not done yet. You know him as the outstanding wide receiver. You now know him as the outstanding power hitter as well, as that ball is absolutely drilled. I believe they served coffee and a small snack on that flight. Beautiful stuff from him on the 2-run homer. Off the shed, West Prairie down 3-2 at that point, but Beardstown would erupt in for another run late in this game, and the Tigers end up getting the sweep today 4-2, because in the earlier game today, it was Beardstown winning a 5-1 decision at the behest of West Prairie. 5-1 was your final. Quincy Notre Dame, though, having a pretty darn good day, winning big over Holy Trinity, playing in a tournament, a Catholic tournament today. 14-2 was your final there, also beating Alleman today 5-0. Time for your Burris Hybrid Seeds of Greatness, and in a week when you have state tournament action, let us salute what we have as the future of Tri-State high school track and field, and it appears to be very bright in Western Illinois. Lots of big showings. I want to start off with the Hamilton boys today, who finished second in the state in 7A, led by Bryce Wilson. We've heard some things about Hamilton and what they've got coming through in terms of athletes and perhaps future football potential to get that program rolling. Bryce Wilson, one of those names you may hear, because that kid can flat sprint it. 100-meter champion today. Also on the boys' side, Carthage ends up finishing 4th as a team today. Congratulations to them. Oh, I get to say it again. Yoakum, if you got him. Devin Yoakum today from Bushnell winning the high jump championship. Congratulations to him as well. On the girls' side today, we've got a new state champion. The Carthage girls end up winning today as a team and also post 2 individual champions. Kaylee Artman winning the long jump. And what else? Look at this. Carthage has a great relay team. Surprise. 4x200 meter winning a state title as well. Hey, it was 1-2 today. The Liberty girls as well finished second in the state, led by Caitlin Robbins, who's probably going to win a lot of championships in cross country and distance runs in track and field over the years. She does it again today, winning the mile. Our congratulations to her as well. Also want to give out a shout out to the Unity girls. Megan Adams today finished 5th in the mile today and 6th in the 800 and broke a school record in the 800 today. Also on the boys side for Unity, congratulations to Michael Pratt, who finished 8th in the state in the mile as well for Unity. And we've got more overtime coming your way after this. We are coming to the end of the school year, and that means we are coming to the end of the Con Communications Connection for the season. And we've got some good ones to offer up in this last month, including your latest offering, courtesy of Keokuk's Well, you want to just call her Miss Hat Trick because that is who she is. Goal scorer par excellence, Taylor Lemon, with his absolutely beautiful shot the other night. Upper 90 against Holy Trinity. That is nominee number 5 of the month. We'll have 2 more for you before the end of the month for you to vote on. Remember, at the end of the month, you can go to our website, KHQA.com. We'll list all of the nominees for you. You can vote for your favorite. Hey, by the way, you are my favorite tonight because you people are giving me track results right off the bat as soon as I ask for them. So I'm going to get some more out to you because we're proud of all of our state qualifiers. Thanks to my guy, Aaron Smoot, who got me all the South Shelby results tonight. South Shelby boys qualify for state in the 4x100 meter. They finished 3rd there. The hurdler, Van Windsor, no surprise there. 110 and 300 meter hurdles finished 3rd in both. The South Shelby girls qualify for state in the 4x8 in 3rd place. And Kayla Duncan finishes 3rd there in the 800 meter as well. Also, courtesy of my man David Sharp, a little more Knox County news to pass along tonight. It was Madison McCabe 2nd today in the sectionals in the 2 mile as well. She ran a 12:15.91, which is a new Knox County record. So congratulations to the freshman Madison McCabe as well. More overtime coming your way after this. Okay, then we'll just wrap. Two more for you quickly while they've come in. Highland's incomparable Garrett Gray today qualifies for state, 2nd in the boys discus at 138. And Clark County's Jessica Roberts is a sectional champion in the discus at 123.5. She may win herself a state championship as well. We're going to have state championship track next weekend. We're going to have regional championship and district championship baseball and softball. Oh, it's going to be fun. Plus Gus Macker. It's Memorial Day weekend. It gets no better than that. Please spend it with us here on Overtime. Should be a big fun week. We'll see you then with all the highlights starting on Monday.